Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you.
What does the nanny do?
Okay, so we're done.
Goodbye.
You. Shut it off.
Do not twist my words. Do not make me a victim, sweetie.
Just look at the mountain. That's what you saw that day.
Just the knife in the kidneys over all these years and the sacrifices that I made to love you.
Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you.
Buckle your seatbelts, everybody. We are going on an adventure like you haven't seen or heard since we all died of dysentery on the Oregon Trail.
70 years ago on the Dysentery Trail.
Yeah, it is almost like we're going back in time.
I mean,
And it's just as made up as that computer game.
yeah, it's a journey, and it is definitely made up.
Come with us now as we take a journey into Season 5, Episode 7 of Sister Wives. The episode is titled Polygamist Pilgrimage into the Past. And I said that without even fucking it up.
No, that was just glorious.
We'll see how long that lasts. We open this wonderful episode at Janelle's house. Oh. It's funny that we're opening at Janelle's house because we actually see Logan and Christine in the opening shot. So I was like, what's going on here? I was a little confused. But Logan is eating mock tapioca pudding, Christine's specialty that we all, well, maybe not all of us, but most of us wonder, what the fuck is it?
What are these?
And Christine's making this for Logan's birthday. Says, this is your birthday gift. Okay, whatever.
Another birthday about to be overshadowed by big announcements.
Of course.
We don't talk about the recaps at the beginning very often. However, for no fucking reason in particular, they decide to show us a clip of Meri and Kody's couch conversation about the baby decision again. And when she says, I don't think you do, in response to him saying, I know this is a tough decision, he has a look on his face that looks like he is just so fucking over it, and he looks disgusted, and the look is hateful.
Yeah. When you see the footage the first time in the previous episode or whatever episode it was, it's like the angle was different, the shot was different, and I didn't catch it.
They didn't show his facial reaction to her quote there.
Yeah. What did she say again?
Well, he says first, I know this is a tough decision. And then she says, I don't think you do.
That's right. And his face, doesn't he shoot his head up and kind of look like, I can't even fucking believe it.
He puts his head up and he does this thing where he kind of looks up at the ceiling. It's not a full eye roll, but his eyes are bugging. And he has this hateful look in his eyes. Honestly, that look alone just tells me everything that I need to know about where their relationship is truly at. And, Chris and I, we each watched the episode solo and then kind of chit-chatted before watching it together. And I was like, did you? And I didn't even have to say what I was going to say. And you were like, yes.
It was intense. And it stood out as a moment where we even talked about how it could be captured and part of documentation of some of the nonverbals and their reactions to each other, because it looks like he is like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear from you. I don't even like you. I can't believe I'm doing this. Captured in a second.
It's everything that you need to know about where the relationship was truly at during that interview around season 5, episode 5 to 7, or after when they recorded the couch conversations. But I was telling Chris, I'm like, this is why doing the rewatch is so interesting, because I don't think when I was hearing about this or when people were watching it in real time that they maybe caught these little tells. And now rewatching it, it's just so obvious that the family was in a worse place than the viewer ever even could have imagined. So
Absolutely.
yeah. honestly, if I ever saw my husband look at me like that or do a look like that behind my back, I would think our marriage was over.
Right. Yeah.
I would know our marriage was in a horrible
It
spot.
was hate-filled, disgust, blah, blah, blah. It was not cute.
It was not cute, and
Mhm.
he was not keeping sweet.
He was not keeping sweet, that is for sure.
Kody, you bastard.
And thank you for bringing that up because it is totally worth mentioning.
Yeah.
It was a high-impact moment that was in a previously on, so
Yeah, recaps are usually like we gloss over, we don't notice much, but you guys are going to hear us talk about this episode, and there's maybe a couple of mentions here and there about how Meri, if she had a baby, then this, but nothing that warranted that in the recap,
Right.
other than maybe if the producers were being smart, trying to show something
Yeah.
sinister.
Or maybe just to keep viewers remember that this is a thing.
Oh, for
and,
future.
And
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's like, we cannot forget. You will not allow us to forget.
Beat us with it.
Seriously. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oof.
So when we're coming back to the start of the episode, Kody says that he has an announcement. So like you said, another birthday that gets overshadowed by an announcement, which is so ridiculous. They're all like gathered for Logan's birthday, aka an announcement, where everyone's gathered in the living room and sitting around anxiously waiting for Kody's announcement, where he says, "How would everyone like to take a vacation to Nauvoo, Illinois?"
In 2 RVs.
Oh my God. The younger kids are excited. They all have the like young kid enthusiasm. Yay, we're going to go on a trip and
Never
we're
been in an RV.
spinning around in
Ooh.
circles and spreading our germs everywhere. And it's like, cool.
But our favorite child, Mykelti.
Oh, yeah. Mykelti.
She's annoyed.
Yeah. The older kids are not excited and they do a close up of Mykelti. And what does she do, darling?
Oh my God, she does the gun to head and pulling the trigger gesture. That was huge back then. I'm sure I did it many a time at that point in my life as well. But nowadays, it is not something that would be considered appropriate.
Right. Yeah, Kody does, in some of the details, says, we're taking 2 RVs. It's going to be 3 days of travel, blah, blah, blah. I think Mykelti says, it's boring. We get to learn about our culture in Illinois.
Illinois, it's so annoying.
I love it. It's so totally teenage vibes. Like, yeah, who would want to be with their family in an RV for multiple days to learn about your family culture? Which it turns out they actually do need to learn some things about their culture and their history.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Which is funny. It's like an unintended part of the episode, I feel like by the end, you were making comments about how, wow, they're really learning a lot about what they're so passionate
What they
about.
should already fucking know.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Oh, yeah. Then Kody says it's got a lot of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints history, and that this just tripped me up. It's really like going to Jerusalem.
Right. Well, Christine says it's a family vacation, but some of the older kids are stressed, and I'm stressed. And it's like, yes, okay, you're stressed. And that's when Kody says it's like a pilgrimage. Polygamy didn't start there, but it's significant in LDS culture, like returning to Jerusalem.
Yeah. Joseph Smith introduced the idea of polygamy in Nauvoo, Illinois.
Yes. Ultimately leading to his death.
Yeah.
We're
well.
going to be talking a lot about Nauvoo, which is an interesting word.
It reminds me of the planet of Naboo from a one Star Wars saga.
And once again, it's all made up.
It is. It is just like Star Wars.
Land
And
of
Kody
make-believe.
even mentions at one point that this history dates back to 100 or so years ago. And he doesn't even know exactly when while making that comment. And I'm like, if you can trace your religion to 100 or so years ago, it may or may not be a cult.
Right.
Okay.
Right. The LDS church has struggled for 100-ish years to separate itself from polygamy. Therefore, Kody and his family are like outsiders. They're like a problem to the LDS church, which, interesting to call yourself a problem to the established religion that your family is a part of a sect of that broke away. So it makes sense. But it's also like, yeah, you're calling your family a problem and not really catching the irony in that.
Problem to society, problem to the LDS. I digress.
Just a problem. A problem to our eyes and ears and senses on TLC. So then we get a shot of the adults sitting around a table doing their planning for this trip. And okay, so Janelle, sometimes we get reminded of why Janelle's our queen and why we love Janelle. And she says, it'll be nice to get away from the chaos of building the houses for a week. She's also looking forward to not thinking about anything for a week. And I'm like, not thinking about anything?
While you white knuckle the steering wheel of an RV for days on end. Okay, Janelle.
This theme keeps coming up for me. I don't want to
Darling.
get too sidetracked right now, but I kind of scratch my head and my chin and my balls and I go, what is it that you're doing all the time? These people make it sound like, they're just escaping the stresses. Okay, yeah, planning the build of a home is somewhat stressful, but my God, Janelle, stop going to the gym at the ass crack of dawn and, ignoring your children all day, I guess. I don't really know. It's just bizarre.
Kody says they're trading one kind of chaos for another. And
Yeah, well.
Yeah,
The Brown family chaos. Meri says that this is giving me stress.
Yeah.
And it's all over her face.
Well, we find out that it's going to be a 1,600-mile pilgrimage from Vegas to Nauvoo. And it's going to take 3 days of getting there and then getting back, and that is the plan.
3 days to get there and 3 days to get back.
7 days total, they said, the trip. So 1 day in Nauvoo after all this mess express of planning. And I want to know, what the fuck is the hurry? What is the rush? Why? I don't know.
And in classic television storytelling, do we get any footage of them coming back home? No. So I wonder if they really took the RV back home or not. Maybe they just were like, we've shown enough disgusting footage of them getting there that they didn't want to torture us. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just question whether they took the RV back home, but
Well,
whatever.
maybe they got dysentery on the way home and they couldn't show us.
They couldn't.
Maybe they had some more loose rolls and loose stools on the way home.
Janelle and Maddie rolling up loose stools or loose
Rolling up
rolls
their loose stools
into loose
inside
rolls
the camper.
in the RV, hitting the bumps and being like, look out for those loose rolls.
No.
Oh, man. Well, once a chef, always a chef. Christine asks about if something fun comes up, how could they fit it into their trip? And I love it. Meri says, if it's not in the plan, it's not happening.
And she has these wide, aggressive eyes. Like, don't you even test me or question me here.
Do not fuck with a planner when it comes to a road trip where you have no time for silly business.
Nope, no time whatsoever. We've just constructed this timeline of our own volition that literally doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay.
Because they're all getting back to their busy lives of what, which nobody knows. Christine says, the more we talk about it, the more I'm done. I'm just saying, forget about me, because this sounds like a lot of stress.
Yeah, just have fun without me. This sounds like a lot of stress.
And then she makes a face. She made a lot of faces in this episode. She's very expressive.
Christine, this entire episode has me cracking up, and I'm going to come out and say it again. I've said it the last few episodes. I love Christine now. I love her. I am a stan for Christine. Christine.
I'm
a
wondering
fan.
if you're running a fever.
No, she is just being so fucking honest, and it's so refreshing. And she's the only one that's like calling out the shit and just being blatantly honest. And she's making her faces and she's going, oh, well, Kody, and like being silly. And maybe it's the cider flowing through her veins. Maybe it's the potential. I'm not going to say it, but Xanax, maybe. I don't know. She mentions she perhaps was on something that she decided not to take anymore after taking it one time. but she is hilarious this entire episode, and she's the only one speaking truths.
She was definitely the comedic relief in this episode. I did chuckle more than I've ever laughed with Christine collectively over the entire series at this point. So that's a good thing.
Well, and she was kind of like sidebar the last few episodes, quiet here and there, other than her huge exam that she took
Oh, yeah.
the last episode.
And
where they
talking
made
about
her
how
main
their family's
character.
breaking up and disintegrating.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that nothing works and nothing makes sense.
Yep.
This episode, she was definitely slapstick, which
Yeah.
it was fun.
It's like the last episode, she was kind of coming into her own and they gave her the plot. And now this episode, she's just like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I am who I am.
I do suspect she's on drugs. I'm just kidding.
You mean like Maddie?
She's definitely rolling. She's on a different drug than Maddie, that's for
Allegedly.
sure. Yeah. Maddie, that episode was like, I'm chill. I'm cool.
She's also like that in this episode.
I'll get through a sentence eventually. And Christine's like, I'm gonna tell you what's going on. Like, oh my God.
We get to Meri's and she's packing the camper and cleaning her house, and she's acting like it's so early in the morning, and they show her clock on her microwave and it says 7:28 a.m.
Which is early.
Shut up.
I know. Well, you're a mom with young kids, but to the average person, to someone
To
who's-
Janelle,
to
she's
Janelle,
been up
to
for
Janelle.
5 hours already at 2 a.m.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, to be up at 7:28, packing up the RV, frantically cleaning, it is what it is. She's trying to get ready to go, and she says that she can't stand leaving her house a mess. So she's going nuts. And I identify with that. I don't like leaving a mess when I leave as well, so that when you get home, you're not like, oh my God, this is what I got home to.
I agree. I don't like leaving the place in a state of despair
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want to come back and feel that despair again wash over me. Are you the type of person that when you get back from a trip, you unpack the first day, or do you slowly unpack over time?
Oh, good question. I usually, it kind of depends on when you get in,
Mhm.
but usually because I try to leave things in a state of I don't have to do anything, I might throw all my laundry into the wash and then sit on the couch for the rest of the day. I try not to have any activities to do, for sure.
Yeah.
But, I usually don't have to do a lot because it's just me, putting my carry-on into the wash machine.
I like to unpack right when I get home, if possible, depending on the circumstances. And then I leave my empty suitcase sitting out for public view for days on end for my husband to take back downstairs.
That's what I was assuming, was for the hubby to put it away. Yes. If I just leave this object here for long enough, surely it will be put away.
Surely it will disappear magically.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. This is followed by a mini collage of them putting their things into the RVs, getting settled. You know that this is an early morning mild version of Brown family chaos. Just guess what? We're getting ready to go, everybody.
We find out who's coming and who is not coming. We find out that Robyn's sister, Tara, is coming along.
Yes, remember her from a previous episode?
We couldn't remember her name. I
Yeah.
wrote it down this time. It's
Same.
Tara.
Tara.
We have 21 people total coming along on the trip. Hunter is staying back for football camp, and Logan is staying back for, I don't remember why,
Prior obligations.
prior obligations. Getting ready for college, let's say.
Maddie is jealous of the boys that get to stay behind. Of course she is. Luckily, unlike her sister, she didn't make any I'm killing myself with a gun. Oh, gestures.
Yeah. She did have a bun on the top of her head that looks like cotton candy,
Oh,
like fuzz, like she is literally bleached the absolute living tar out of that hair, and there's just a wad of cotton candy now that's
Aw.
left over.
I thought it was beautiful. Maddie does predict that things will be calm for the first day of their travels, and then she says, quote, things are gonna get bad. And I was like, yes, things are gonna get bad. They totally are.
They have to drive through 7 states.
They let us know that Robyn and Christine are going to stay in hotels and that Meri and Janelle are going to stay in the RVs.
Now, why are Meri and Janelle in the RVs and Robyn and Christine staying in hotels?
Well,
Did they tell us?
There's a joke made about how having babies is driving this decision.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember what the back and forth is right away, but it does land with Christine saying, "No, I'm just a princess," which, Christine, she might be the funny one in this episode, but I didn't laugh at that.
She's a plague princess, Chris. Come on.
She's a plague princess. Polygamist royalty.
Yes.
And that's when Kody cracks a joke to Meri that if she had a baby, she wouldn't have to stay in the RV. Meri says she was easygoing with either way. She didn't really care whether she stayed in a hotel or an RV. And I don't really know. Was there details about this baby thing that stood out to you?
They just call attention to the fact that the two with the youngest children are the ones that are staying in a hotel, and that they used their babies as an excuse for being the ones that need to stay in the hotel. And it doesn't really track because honestly, if I had a baby, I'd probably prefer being in the RV while traveling, at least. I don't know, while staying, but packing up all of your baby stuff every morning from a hotel room to get back to the family seems like more work than staying in the RV and having all the baby stuff in one spot.
Well, I'm also curious how the kids get divvied up, right? Because just because Robyn and Christine are staying in hotel rooms, does that mean they get their own hotel room? Because if your baby's young enough to wake up and be upset throughout the night, an RV would be a better place to stay. You're at least by yourself and not waking up the children. But maybe the kids are staying in the RVs. They don't really give us these details.
They don't explain. Kody calls it camping a few times, which makes me wonder if they actually set up tents for some of the kids.
They probably did.
So if they actually did that, then maybe it does make more sense for the babies and the moms to be at the hotel so they're not helping with all of that because the babies have an actual bedtime. But either
Which they
way,
don't make any night anyway, so.
No, either way, it's just weird. And
it's messy.
I don't know.
And it's just another opportunity to draw attention to the fact that Meri doesn't have a baby. And it's like, oh my God, just stop.
Of course, yeah.
I think another thing that makes sense to me is that Meri talks about how she's easy with it either way. And I think it's funny because Meri is particular about certain things, but she definitely makes sure to point out when she's like, I'm cool with it, I'm flexible. And sometimes I feel like there's an element of people not believing her where I'm looking at it going, why wouldn't you just believe her in this instance? Meri's literally like, I can sleep in the RV. It's cool. I can be in a hotel room. I don't care. And I feel like there's a vibe of, well, really, Mer? And it's like, I don't know. It seems like she would be fine with it. And
they're picking on her.
And Janelle tried to live in a teepee and she didn't make it overnight. She likes camping.
She likes literally tried to live in a teepee.
Of course she's going to pick the RV because she's like, I want to stay in an RV. Like, that's her vibe.
Also, though, this entire episode, Kody is picking on Meri. Every time that he's taking anything out on anyone, it's Meri.
We definitely see that as a pattern. Our first stop on this family voyage, this pilgrimage, excuse me, it's not a voyage, it's a pilgrimage, is St. George, Utah, to visit their friend Chris, who owns Family Pond. Now, luckily, Chris does come up as a reoccurring character in this show. We get to interact with him in future episodes. So we're just getting a little taste of Chris, which is what I like to call going on a first date with Chris. A little taste of Chris. Chris also owns the home in Nauvoo that the family will be staying in. The Hiram Smith Farm. Named after Joseph Smith's brother, which is a lovely detail to get out of nowhere. And then you're wondering, why do we care? Oh, that's right. They're finding out things about their past. Well, not their past. Their fake religion's past, which includes Joseph Smith and his brother Hiram Smith, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Chris points out some sort of shit in the store that's like a picture of Joseph Smith, Brigham Young, someone. This is where I kind of blacked out and I trauma blocked because I'm like, I don't know what to even say or care about.
They are looking at a photo and a letter, and the letter is important. It adds value. And it's of Brigham Young, and it is worth about $6,000 in this Utah pawn shop.
Oh, yes.
$6,000.
$6,000.
And if it was outside of Utah or Nauvoo, Illinois, would it be worth $6,000? Probably not.
It'd be in a dumpster.
Yeah. They joke that Kody looks like him, that Kody looks like Brigham Young. And Robyn thinks that Brigham Young is handsome.
Oh,
so
yeah.
she doesn't mind the comparison. And it's like, you fucking kiss ass.
They also called Brigham Young Uncle Brigham Young, which I thought was creepy. I'm like, is this some sort of, like familiar term for the religious fanatics? And I puked a little in my mouth and I swallowed it and it was okay. But the photo of him, like, he's a hefty man with this, like, cleft beard, or I don't know what you call
really
that.
awful.
It's not attractive. And then, of course, when they're drawing this comparison, Kody does this whole, like, turn his head and try to do whatever. And it's like, ew, you guys are just pointing out how you all look the same because you're all inbred. Like, it's so weird.
They also call Brigham Young the modern Moses.
Oh, yes.
Because he helped bring them to Utah from Illinois.
Right.
The modern Moses.
He didn't part any seas, but he did help the criminals and freaks get over some hills.
Well, I would like to dispute that because he parted a lot of Red Seas.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. In fact, Brigham Young had 24 wives at least.
Boo.
So there was plenty of opportunities to part the Red Seas there. I cannot believe you just did that.
Sorry.
I cannot believe it.
Oh.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing. A goal for their first day of travel, leaving Vegas, is to get to Grand Junction, Colorado, which is on the west side of the state. It's just beyond the border, which is 525 miles. Now, if you're from the west or you've driven through the west, it's funny because I was like, Grand Junction, Colorado has been a destination for me. Like when you're going that way, traveling east from the west coast or anywhere over there, Grand Junction is such a staple to stop in because you're like, we're getting across the border, we're getting to a place. Like, it just is so funny to see. And I'm like, how many people have been like, we just have to get to Grand Junction, Colorado?
Meri is doing a lot of road math.
Oh, yes, she is.
Yeah.
She's got the hours down. And when she said something like, oh, I think it's going to take 8 hours or 12 hours. I don't remember what she said.
8 or 9 hours for 500 miles?
Right. She said 8 or 9 hours. And I'm going, for me,
What?
as a single man doing the trip by myself, I would plan for 10 hours. And that's to like stop to get fast food and to pee. Like, I don't know where she's doing that math.
I remember always thinking it's like a mile a minute.
Yeah. 525 miles divided by 60 is, I love how I wrote it down.
Well, she
but
put
then
16 hours of driving each day, but that they could do 8 or 9 hours per 500 miles. And I'm like, Meri, who is doing this mile road math for you?
Yeah. No, she did not do well at math, clearly.
I just, when you factor the miles, I'm like, that's a mile a minute, I think, right?
Well, yes. 525 miles divided by 60, which is how many minutes are in an hour, is 8.75. So even if you didn't stop and you didn't do anything, well, I shouldn't say that. If you plan on a mile a minute like you're talking about, that's 8.75 hours, which is why I would think it would take 10 hours.
Yeah.
She's doing the math as if they're never going to stop. They're just going to float through everything. Like, it's weird math.
Well, they're in RVs. They shouldn't have to stop. They should have potty time in their RVs. But then they've got the 2 vans or 1 van traveling separately.
I don't know how many vans. I didn't even note that there was a van. So I don't know. I guess if they could all fit in the RVs, they would just pee in the RVs.
Well, they show the van being driven by Christine at one point or by Robyn.
So they do have to stop.
Yeah, they do have to stop. And they tell us that their potty stops take about an hour each.
Oh, yeah. They can't just do a tinkle. It's got to be an hour ordeal.
Oh,
Which, Joe Darger would have none of that. There would be whippersnap. You've got
hell no.
You've got 2 minutes to pee, and then I'm leaving you in this state we don't live in.
The women, you don't get a toilet. We stop on the side of the road, and you use one of those little dingle hoppers that you put up to the.
Oh God.
You know what I'm talking about? Those like potty urinal things for
Yes.
women to stand and pee.
And pee, yes. And you got to sanitize your own dingle hopper.
Sanitize. Who said anything about that happening?
You just throw it in the back. Well, of course, because Meri sucks at math. I was gonna crack a joke about girl math, and then I realized, Chris, that's sexist.
Quit talking about girl math. Girl math's about food.
I want to be respectful. So because she did women math, it took them 16 hours to get where it should have taken them 10. Okay, it is what it is. Meri never told us she was a mathematician.
Me, girl math's about food. That's in my mind when I'm doing like this thing's this many calories and this, and it's like
Oh,
girl math, girl
girl
food
math.
time. I
Well,
don't
see,
know.
I just heard about it on the internet. I don't know anything
Well, that's
about
probably not even like a normal girl math situation, but that's just, my own.
that. No one said you were normal, honey. Now, they acknowledge they're slow travelers and that their potty breaks take an hour, like you said. They arrive at the campsite after dark, which is such great footage. They're rolling into the campsite. And Kody says they can't arrive at their evening destinations 4 hours late every night when you didn't even double check your wife's terrible math. There you go.
I mean, it's like leaving Janelle in charge of the finances. We left Meri in charge of the road math. I don't know what you expected. Oy.
It's all women math to me. Now, Christine says it's late and Kody still wants to have an adult conversation. And she rolls her eyes in this big grand dramatic fashion. And it was funny. So we had to have a family meeting at 11 o'clock.
11 p.m. to talk about the schedule and about the 7 a.m. call time. He calls it a call time.
Call time. Meri, quite contrary. She says, we left at 8 this morning and we're still late. We have a schedule. And Christine makes fun of Meri talking by doing the teacher voice from Charlie Brown, the Peanuts.
She's like, all I'm hearing is womp, womp, womp.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be hearing that too at that time after
It is
hearing
late.
kids screaming the entire car ride for over 8 hours. And Janelle is playing with her hair and staring off, and she looks exactly like Maddie.
Yeah.
Maddie does this exact same thing.
Right.
And oh my gosh, they look like twins. When I saw that, I was like, oh no, this is crazy. I pointed out at this point that for the first time I've noticed Kody's ring, and there is some lore around Kody's ring. And going from the Claudia to perhaps a ring that Christine picked out that all the other wives approved that he wouldn't wear. Then he goes to like this big signet weird ring from the collection that Robyn designs. And this is the first time that I've noticed his ring, so I do believe that it has changed. And that's all I can say about it because we couldn't really tell. There was one clear shot of it and then that was it. But if perhaps this is when and around the time that he changed his ring, season 5, episode 7, it's noticeable.
And it parallels with Christine talking about how it's great that there's a schedule, but that she's probably going to be cranky every night. Maybe she noticed that ring. It was like glistening in the light. And she was like, oh, that bastard.
Bastard. I didn't know men could be such bastards.
Thank you for that flashback. Oh, my God.
Boy.
Well, luckily the Browns did get some sleep, and we all, I don't know, they had some sleep. And now we're at day 2. Woohoo! We've got Meri standing outside of her RV saying, I'm hoping we'll stay more on top of our schedule today. It was really late when we got in last night. It was kind of stressful. And I was LOLing. I was like, yes, Meri. I hate to say it, but I'm totally Meri on a road trip. I'm like, if you want to get somewhere by a certain time, then you got to get there. Like, I don't know what you want.
They're driving through Colorado on day 2, and Meri is hoping for another chance to stay on schedule. God.
Yes, they've got to get through Colorado and get to Goodland, Kansas, is where their RV park is 440 miles away. So they hit the road, Jack.
And they are driving campers called Freedom Elite.
Oh, Freedom Elite.
Yeah.
How very exclusive.
This is a joke between my husband and I. When we're on a road trip, I did this to him one time, like inadvertently. We were driving and it was quiet and we were not speaking. And I saw a camper pass us and I just like screamed out of nowhere the name of the camper. Let's say, Cougar. And Dave like jumped out of his skin and he was like, what the fuck was that? And I was like, the name of the camper that just drove by, Cougar. And I said it again.
Yes.
So now it's a joke whenever we're on a road trip together. We will just randomly yell out the name of like the campers that drive by.
Yes.
And so as soon as I saw the name, I'm like, the Freedom Elite. The Elite Fleet.
The
We
Elite
got
Fleet.
the two elite campers on the road
Mhm.
going through Colorado.
I was a little surprised also to not see them like tape over that or do something that they usually do now.
Yeah, they had the name of the rental company across the top of the camper as well, which I
Oh.
didn't write down, but
Okay.
I think it was probably like, oh, this is free advertising.
Yeah, like promotional.
You know,
Nowadays,
these camper
on these
companies.
shows, they're like block out every word.
Yeah.
But, there's this footage of them in the RV while they're driving of the older kids snacking around a table. And I was thinking it looks kind of fun. Like, I was like, oh, I'd love to sit around a table and eat some snacks and be like, well, let's talk about whatever. And then I was like, well, maybe it's because I think it'd be fun because I've never been on a long trip in an RV. Because then they start talking about how it's chaotic and loud and they don't like it. And I can only imagine.
Yeah, they're all complaining about the lack of space and how loud it is. And then they show a clip of Saul passed out in his car seat while the kids sitting next to him are like all screaming. And Saul's just like, but
Yes, and there's another shot of a kid like knocking into Aspen and her just looking at them like, are you fucking kidding? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So because I never did go on road trips in an RV, I think, I know I've been in one while it was driving, but not like across states and stuff. So when I see that, I'm like, oh, I could totally do that. But I could do it. I wouldn't want to do it.
I cannot even imagine 21 people on a road trip.
21 people.
And yet it's like, okay, 7 days, 21 people, 7 days.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, they've got all these important my sister wife's closet meetings to attend to when they get home.
Apparently.
They arrive in Goodland, Kansas in the late PM. And Kody talks about rotating, spending time with his wives while traveling, while they're on the couch having a little spotlight moment. And Robyn says that she hates the word rotate.
I hate that word.
I hate that word. And then he's like, what word? Because what was the other word that he said? It was like
Schedule.
Schedule. Oh, that's right.
I schedule rotations with my wives during travel. And he's like,
Yeah, and she goes, I hate that
What?
word. And he goes, what, schedule? Like, oh, yeah, no, she hates the word schedule, you idiot. No, obviously it's rotate. And then they're all, being like, yes, we hate rotate. We hate rotate.
and Janelle's like, Kody gets grumpy when we travel. And she just looks so resigned to life. Like,
He gets overwhelmed. And he's often grumpy.
Ugh.
And Christine says sometimes she just succumbs to it, like Kody's grumpiness. And other times she tries to turn that attitude around.
Honestly, it's like, okay, let's all make excuses for this man's shitty behavior when he travels. Like, I don't get it. It's bizarre. Bizarro.
Yeah, I feel like it seems magnetized because of the number of wives and the women. I mean, I think we've all been on road trips where you can tell someone is in the space and you just kind of let them be there for a little while, hoping that the next time you talk, it's a different tone and a different thing. And it would be weird because I do get a sense that Kody feels, I shouldn't say get a sense, he says it even later, that he feels obligated to have to like succumb to all these women's things. And it's like, oh my God, and it must be a lot. It just must be a lot to have to navigate those gray areas, those cloudy areas. And I'm not trying to make excuses for him. I'm just saying everyone gets like that, like on a road trip or something.
They do.
And so he's probably just like, can I just get a fucking corner by myself for a few minutes?
Well, and men are just like a little clueless sometimes as to like the needs of like others around them, especially in
Yes.
situations like that, because if they're the ones driving, they're stressed and they don't understand that other people might be stressed even though they're not driving. Like the first time that we ever took a road trip with a baby, Dave like didn't understand why we couldn't take the baby out to feed him like while driving. And I had to be like, well, that's just never going to happen. And this is like literally illegal. And then when I said it, he's like, oh, well, duh. Like, duh. Why did I think that we could do that? But it's just like sometimes I think men in particular, when it comes to traveling, they just get in this other mode. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, the women that are listening will get it. Like, if men
I get it.
get in this mode when they're traveling, and I'm more like, what's the hurry? Like, let's chill out. If people need to stop and go potty, like, It's going to have to happen regardless if you want it to or not. My dad was the type of dad that would be like pulling the van over and trying to make me like hang my ass over outside of the sliding van door and pee. And I had pee fright. And then it would be like, I'm hanging my ass out of the sliding door for 30 minutes instead of at the rest stop up the road for 10. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, let's just chill out, you know? Like, why are we rushing this road trip into 7 days? I don't know. These people drive me fucking insane.
One thing the editors do in this episode sometimes is they're like, that's the end of the day, and then here's the next day. So now it's day 3. It's like, okay, sounds good. We know there was more to that story, but it is only one episode, and we've got to get through it. So just like this episode is based like their trip. It's like, for some reason, we have to only show half of it. Oh, God. So
instead of doing these weird Q&As that they've done before, it's like, why couldn't you split some of these episodes up?
Right. Like a 2-part travel episode. But I don't know that they drove back. I don't know that they drove back.
You think they flew back?
I find it a little hard to believe that they paid for everyone to fly back. So I could see why they would drive back, but I also don't get why you wouldn't have. Maybe they didn't want production to go back. Maybe it was a cost saver, like you get back however you get back. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like we don't want to have the crew filming you for the whole time.
Right.
That might make sense. Now for day 3, their goal is to get to Maysville, Missouri.
Maysville, Missouri.
Maysville, Missouri.
470 miles to go on day 3 here.
Most of which is Kansas. And that makes me go, yawn, boring, OMG. Because if you've driven west to east or east to west through Kansas, Oklahoma, the Dakotas, Nebraska, it's just, you know, there's beautiful places in these states. Not trying to put you down if you live there. You know, please don't leave us a negative review about how I'm talking about driving through the state. But there's a lot of nothing.
Rolling grasslands.
It's literally like, I remember one time driving through Nebraska and there was road construction and I was so glad because it made you have to pay attention to like switching left to right and stuff. It was like at least something was happening.
No.
And so, you know, those stretches tend to be a bit long. Robyn, our hero. She says, originally we talked about making the trip to Nauvoo in 3 days. Here we are on our 3rd day and we're this far behind. There's no way. It's like, yes, girl.
Okay.
Way to state the obvious. Kody shares his concern about their lack of sleep every evening and the wind.
We're in a wind storm.
The wind is our new character in this episode.
So it happens when there's no landscaping.
Right, but this rolling hills and lots of wind. And Kody, they show a clip of him running from RV to RV as they're hitting the road, getting started. And I was LOLing because as he's running, the hair is like blowing in the wind.
He looks like a soccer mom running to like their child on the field to give them their Gatorade bottle or something.
Oh my God, it was quite the sight. It was really something. As they're describing this kind of wind happening, they show footage of the RVs being blown while driving down the road. And the awnings of the RVs are being pulled out by the wind. So, of course, they have to pull over to figure out what to do.
They're catching like sails in the wind. It's
like Christopher Cross song.
Oh, boy. And then we find out about Kody's lack of sleep and that he's only been getting 4 hours of sleep each night so far.
And I've been fighting the wind all day.
Yep.
And I'm just done. It's like, okay. Now, this is one of my favorite scenes of this episode. Kody goes into the RV to talk to Meri and Robyn. Kody says, can we take a break now? Now, mind you, this also, I have to preface with that they didn't really give us enough context clues to how long this has been or anything. Like, they hit the road, it's windy, they pulled over. I don't know how long it's been on this day. But Kody says, can we take a break now? And Meri says, no, I'm fine. And Kody goes, so you just want to constantly drive?
Mm-hmm.
And Meri said, I would love to constantly drive. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so team Meri right now. Kody's like, I have 4 hours of sleep. 4 hours of sleep is not enough. I stopped because I was falling asleep. And Meri's like, I'm fine. And Kody says, we just have to get a rotation here. and they are not on the same page
No.
at all.
And he uses the word rotation again.
A rotation. And it's funny because he's really just trying to tell her, like, I'm falling asleep. I've been driving too much, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I'm cool. I'm fine. I'm Meri. They call me Mare. I'm cool to keep driving forever. And I feel like I would totally be Meri in this situation. And I'm just like, listen, baby boy, have someone else drive. Take a cat nap. Close your eyes. Sit in the passenger seat. Like, do you have to drive?
Well, Robyn's dumbass is sitting there like she's a 15-year-old without a license, like looking back and forth. And she could offer to be like, oh, I'll take over for you, Kody.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen, yeah.
So Meri wraps up their exchange for the moment by saying, so whenever you say the word, I'm good to go. And Kody is so pissed because he's there to say, I don't want to keep driving. Sure, she is not having any of it. She's just like, whenever you say the word, I'm good to go. And I'm like, oh my God. So now we get a little couch break from this scene where we're going to get a little, tidbit from Kody. Says, I was too exhausted to delegate. I just wanted to bark orders and have them be obeyed.
I just wanted to bark orders and have them obey.
Oh, obey.
And the way he says it is so aggressive. And Christine says, that's offensive. The word obey and saying that we need to obey, that's offensive. It's like...
She says it's, in fact, a 4-letter word.
Uh-huh.
Which it actually is, obey. So,
yeah.
Good on her. Pretty clever for Christine.
I feel her so hard in this moment, and I can't believe she's the only one that spoke up here, or at least the only one that they show speaking up. And this is why I'm standing her hard this episode yet again, because she's like, that's offensive. Okay, Robyn said offensive about rotate. Like, okay, but basically, yeah, semantics, Robyn. He is rotating wives. Him telling his wives to obey, it's literally like, keep sweet and obey. That's like part of what they say all the time. And this is his true colors coming out. This is his true colors, and her saying, I think in her family, like, we don't use things like that. We don't say things like that. That's offensive. And the other women are just like keeping quiet.
There's also an element too, this is what I struggle with Kody. Well, one of the things I struggle with Kody is that we're having a couch moment. This is post-filming all of this. He once again opens his big fucking stupid mouth and says something like, my wives should obey me. It's like, why are you even doing this?
And he's getting heated again like he's in the moment.
Right. It's like, you could explain why you were frustrated in a way that doesn't use language that obviously is going to be turned around back at you going, this is offensive in a 4-letter word. It's literally rude.
Well, and linked to the culture and linked to the religion in an offensive way as well. Like, This is why people have a problem with the religion and with the sect that you belong to, because they use words like that when it comes to women, and it is offensive. And it's like marriage vows. I'm so happy that women have started saying like, oh, or we're not going to say this, that, and the other thing in our marriage vows, like obey, to have, and hold, whatever. It's like these things that women have been taught for so long, and specifically in religion like this, it is fucking offensive, and you wonder why people fight back against your beliefs and your religion.
Right. Kody continues to pontificate, or whatever the word would be, about when he gets grumpy, it's hard for him to be patient and to speak to everyone in a delicate manner. Now we cut back to the RV, to one of my favorite scenes, and Kody leaves the RV by slamming the door shut. And what does Robyn say, honey?
What's wrong?
And Meri says, I have no idea.
And Robyn goes, I'm confused. Oh.
And I'm going, no, you're not. She is just pretending to not know, right?
She's pretending to not know so that she's not the one that gets in trouble, and Meri's taking the heat yet again.
Right.
Meri takes the heat every single time he's frustrated in this episode.
Yeah.
At least 3 times he blows up and blames Meri, and it's mostly he's trying to say it's because she planned the trip. Okay, even though earlier he said, well, we all chose to do this, and now he's just blaming her every chance that he gets. And it makes me wonder what's going on behind the scenes, and if this is the timing, like, where he found out some nefarious things that she was supposedly doing online. I don't
I'm
know
not
the timeline
sure.
of that, but he is taking his anger out on her specifically. And then Robyn's just pretending to be all innocent and so confused.
And there's totally some connect, not to restate what you said, but with her to be like, by not acknowledging what's going on, by not even pretending like she doesn't even know, it's like she doesn't have to hold Kody. She doesn't have to hold
Accountability.
She doesn't have to hold Kody accountable.
Yep.
I don't know why that sentence was so hard for me. And even really, like, she doesn't have to say to Meri, like, this is ridiculous, or, you know, like, she's like Switzerland, but dumb.
Yeah, she doesn't like say, I'm sorry he spoke to you like that, Meri, or I'm going to go talk to him, or maybe I should go and drive for him. She offers no solutions. She just plays dumb.
Yeah, doesn't even have to play it most of the time.
Which, if I may point out, is what Kody does too. Like with the dog situation,
Yes.
he was going to just play dumb and pretend that the dog disappeared, and then Meri would have taken the fucking blame for that. We all know that.
Yeah.
Because it's her dog in quotations, and if it disappeared, it would have been her fault. He won't take accountability for things because he'd rather be the good guy. Robyn won't take accountability for things because she'd rather play stupid and keep sweet and be the good wife. They are two peas in a dirty pea pod.
Yes, and that was a really good parallel right there, like
Yeah.
pointing those out, because it's very true.
It's yucky.
Meri wonders, what's he mad about? Is he mad that I can drive? I'm not tired. I can drive. It's not a big deal.
But don't you know, Meri, that women can't drive?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Of course he's angry.
So Kody returns to the RV and says, okay, we're leaving right now. And Mary's like, okay. And I just love it because Meri she's not giving him an inch with this. She is just like, okay, sounds good. Thanks, sweetie.
All
Like,
right.
Oh my
Peachy
God.
fucking keen, please
Yes.
choke on a jawbreaker. Gee.
So good. So good. I was so team Meri during this whole exchange. I was just like, don't let him get under your skin and don't let him run everything with his anger. I was just over it.
So you've also got your like best little bitch Robyn sitting next to you, sitting bitch, and pretending that she's kind of on your side, but also not.
Yeah, there was just something about Mary's nonverbals and the way that she was sitting and the way that she was not going to like meet him in the level that I was like, fuck yes, Meri.
The way her wrinkles were like set. They were just like not taking any of it.
Not a wrinkle.
It's the spray tan. The spray tan has set into those little wrinkly
It
rings.
continues to do that. So now we're going to be approaching Topeka, Kansas, darling. This is going to be so exciting. Topeka, just outside of Topeka, Kansas.
Oh, but you just glossed over this whole thing like they did. They go back to the couch and Kody just reiterates that he was just so exhausted. So let's stop talking about my lack of brain function. Womp, womp, womp. And then it's like a bad sitcom where they hit the little ting ting and move on.
You're right, I did do that.
You just glossed over it like they did. They
Yes.
just literally were like, that's the end of that fight.
Right, totally. Like Kody just looked like a crazy person who's insane and mad, and it's like, chalk it up to Kody being Kody.
Yeah.
It's totally, even like cartoons and sitcoms, right? Like
Yeah.
the absent-minded husband, the idiot.
Yeah. Wife eats the shit pie and then let's move on.
So ridiculous. Typical man for me to just skip over that.
God damn it, Christopher.
Please forgive me. I had some women math with that. Meri found a place when going online to research their trip called Truckhenge.
Truckhenge, like Stonehenge, but better, one might say.
Oh, far more inspiring. Truckhenge is basically a bunch of trucks that are cemented into the ground vertically. Now, to give you an idea of the setting, before we're introduced to the person who owns and runs Truckhenge, which I'm really struggling with saying, they show us a few shots of these trucks and other vehicles vertical into the ground, surrounded by fields and trees and dumpy-looking property. Not manicured, not anything.
No.
Just kind of like rural vibes with
You mean like rural
automobiles.
Topeka, Kansas vibes?
Right. With vehicles sticking out of the ground vertically.
It's almost like a tornado went through there and a bunch of vehicles landed in vertical positions. But we meet a national treasure.
Yes, we do.
A one Ron Lessman looking like he's been kicked in a tooth or two. Kicked in a tooth or two.
Ron is wearing a t-shirt that says, "You say psycho like it's a bad thing," written in a fun font. And I was like, oh, Ron, you're right. He's a treasure. He really is.
He tells the story about how Truckhenge came to be. And essentially what it boils down to is that the county was sick of his shit and sick of his trash. And they told him that he needed to pick up the trucks.
Well, the county came with a search warrant and told him he had to pick up his trucks. Now, honey, before we get into some of his storytelling with this incident, how do we describe Ron? Like, he's got a crazy beard. Like, he looks like a mountain man, but there's no mountains.
Like a mountain man / hippie.
Yes.
He's a degenerate.
He's a degenerate.
Sorry.
I know, right? Like, fast forward a little bit to when Christine talks about how he doesn't trust the government and he's a weirdo, and just all of those kind of stereotypes put onto a person. Like, he has been kicked in the tooth. He's got this crazy mangy beard thing going on. He's wearing this insane shirt that says, "You say psycho like it's a bad thing." And he looks like he hasn't talked to another human in like 5 years.
He looks like a conspiracy theorist, like he perhaps has a tinfoil or two that fit him very well.
Yes, and maybe him or his sister wife. Oh, his sister wife. His sister who is his wife.
He fucking wishes. He even says so later.
Right, makes meth in their bathroom or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's a look. It's a whole thing. So he tells us the county came with a search warrant and told him he had to pick up his trucks.
Pick him up!
So he says, so I picked him up. When he does this, he gestures. How do we describe this, honey?
He flips the bird with both hands.
Oh.
And as he's telling the story about what he does and that he did what the county said and he put him up and he flips off everybody, all of the children, the adults.
When he's describing this, like picking them up or putting them up, putting up the trucks, he does that gesture that you do when you're flicking someone off more than just putting up, like flipping the bird. He's like taking his hand and putting it into his elbow and shoving his arm up and doing the whole crazy gesture.
I'm pretty sure that's like a British thing. Like, that's super offensive, like over in the UK.
I have no idea if it's British, but it's like it's more than just flipping the bird with your hand. It's like middle finger up in the air, hand in elbow, blah, blah, blah. It's this big dramatic gesture.
Yep. Hand in your ditch.
Hand in the ditch. Of your
elbow. That's what they call it when you get tattooed there. The ditch.
The ditch.
The ditch.
And then there's the truck in the ditch and his hand's in the ditch. And they blur out his middle finger in his hand because, of course, it's obscene. And so he does this gesture when telling this story to the whole family. Like, it's a little out of nowhere. It's unexpected. And it looks crazy. It looks insane.
But the children don't react as horribly as I would have expected because they go on and on about Logan swearing in multiple episodes now. And then you've got this guy like flipping the bird, but not even just like flipping the bird. He's doing like the arm and hand movement with it that's like super meant to be more aggressive and more offensive than just solo birds. And the children have a little bit of a non-reaction.
Yeah, it's like they're just telling the story. Of course, TLC with their blurring does make it even more dramatic, I think. But, you know, Ron continues with his story. They tried to bring public nuisance charges in court. And I said, Your Honor, they told me to put him up. So I picked him up.
So I put him up. It's like, oh, God.
And then he does the arm gestures again as if he was in court giving the middle finger and gesturing to the judge.
Literally every time that he says put him up, he flips the bird.
Yeah.
And flips off the children and the dogs and the parents and every other bug and bird and everything in the area. It's like, oh, no.
Yeah.
So offensive, as Christine points out.
Yes,
It's
very
like,
offensive. So then there's a photo opportunity for Aspen to stand next to Ron Lessman. And on the other side is Maddie and Tara, Robyn's sister. They're standing in a row and they're all flipping off the camera laughing.
Yep.
And Christine goes, our darling teenagers.
Darling teenagers.
And Kody takes this moment to look at the camera and say, I had no idea I was raising a bunch of hippies while giving a peace sign. And it's like, yeah.
'Cause that's what the hippies do.
I guess the hippies just flip off cameras. I don't know. Just Kody. He's just an idiot.
The best part of this scene for me is that truly on like the side of the camera, like on the left side, is like chasing the dog and trying to grab the dog's tail repeatedly. And you got like bald Truly, and she's tall at this point. Like you got tall little bald Truly, and she's like trying to catch the dog's tail. And it's one of the cutest, like stupidest things ever. And I just couldn't not look at it. It was fucking adorable, but also hilarious.
That is funny.
She's just so cute. And oh, we go back to the couch and Kody is talking about this and he found him super entertaining and he just loves farmer style hoarding. And Christine is offended.
Yes.
She didn't like him. She's like, is this real? Really? I don't know.
Yeah, while this is going on, the family's like exploring the truck art. Like they're going around and taking photos in front of the like various vehicles that are sticking out of the ground and kind of like taking their little roads, like pit stop, blah, blah, blah. And Christine is talking about how he lives in the middle of nowhere and he hates the government.
Kody just thinks that this is so funny. And Kody goes, well, they told him to put him up. So he put him up. And then Kody flips the camera off on the couch. And then Christine goes, oh my God, you just did it again. You just flipped people off.
Yes.
It's so funny. She's like offended on the behalf of the audience of all the TLC fans that are watching. Like,
Right.
you flipped them off.
And it's like, we're on a soundstage. But,
Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah. And we get some more, details about Ron's feelings and Ron's beliefs. And he says something along the lines, if you want to have 5 wives, it's the American way. Like, okay. Sounds
do what you
good.
want. Nobody should care. You should be able to do what you want. That's the American way.
That's the American way. It's like, all right.
But he is
good.
telling the kids this, like, as he's saying this in the clip that they show, he's kind of walking with a few of the boys, like, not the young boys, but like the medium-aged boys. And he's like telling them, I just think that you should be able to do what you want. That's America. And so in a way, I do think that his message is pertinent to the family. Like, yes, he's doing this crazy thing and Christine's like, is this real? He's really acting this way with the government and the this and the that. But it's like, you are too, lady.
Yeah.
Like, you are flipping off the government in your own way because they don't believe that plural marriage is recognized in the law of the United States. So, like, you're given a bird, this guy's given a bird, kind of all evens out, don't you think?
I do. The thing that stood out to me about his example is like, if you want to have 5 wives, it's the American way. And it's like, Kody has 4 wives.
Yeah, like this guy is like high off the grass growing underneath his trucks.
Seriously, his message, yes, the root of it might be good, but oh my gosh, it's a little cray-cray.
Yeah, he is smoking what is growing inside of the perfect greenhouse, which is one of those trucks flipped upside down. I don't know. The devil's lettuce.
Oh God.
Under one of those trucks, and just this man, I'm just... He's probably in heaven out in Truckhenge.
And yes, his Truckhenge. Yes, Kody says that the kids were entertained, like you're saying, and he was entertained. And it sounds like a much-needed breather from the driving.
Yeah, and then they cut out to the kids spray painting graffiti on one of the trucks. Like he's allowing them to all graffiti the trucks before they leave.
It's art, honey. It's art to him.
It sure is.
Then the Browns hit the road again. And then they get into the Pony Express RV Park very late. Pony Express. Shout out to the Pony Express RV Park.
Are they still open? Let us know.
Yeah. Are you around? Can we stop in
Is
when
the
we're
Brown curse
after we?
hitting
Yes.
the Pony Express RV park?
Yes. Kody looks absolutely exhausted. Robyn tells us that the hotel is 12 miles away. And then Cody's upset because he didn't know this. So he didn't know that he would have to like drop everyone off and do all these things and then go to the hotel that's 12 miles away. It seems like not a big deal, but also I guess after the end of a long day, you don't want to drive 12 miles and then probably drive back. So
Well, it looks like he's being made to set up some stuff with the RV before he leaves, and he's probably on the rotation to go to the hotel.
yes.
So he's like pissed because he's setting up stuff at the campsite, and then he goes, "I'll be going to bed at 1 or 2 a.m. again tonight."
Poor Kody. And so Kody approaches the RV with Meri in the passenger seat and opens the door. And Kody says, I don't plan on leaving here early tomorrow because I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
And Meri goes, I don't think you need to be barking at me about it, okay?
Yep.
I'm just like, yes.
They're going at it again.
So
Going at it
good.
again.
I'm ready to stop camping, and we haven't even gotten there yet. It's like, yeah, okay, you're referring to it as camping again, which I guess maybe some people are camping. But everyone's tired and frustrated.
Yeah.
Like, they're all tired and frustrated. They're all on the same journey.
Well, Christine even says, like, Kody, you're the only one complaining.
They have to have another adult meeting
Of course.
where Kody says he needs more sleep at night. And Christine goes, good call. We need to fix it from here on out. And Meri says, we say that every night and nothing ever changes. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yes, Meri. I am so team Meri on this episode. Everyone wants to talk about things being different. No one wants to talk about how to make them different. Like,
yeah,
fucking shut up. Like, if I was Meri, I'd be like, yep. Everyone says that every night and nothing ever changes. So true, Meri. And then Kody suggests that they have planned too much.
Oh, boy.
And Christine responds by saying they've basically planned to do nothing but drive.
Which is totally true. They went to Truckhenge and they have been driving nonstop. And they're going to the Pony
at their
Express.
friend's pawn shop. That was
pawn shop in Utah, the Pony Express. They're going pee every now and then for an hour at a time.
They literally have planned very, very little, and Kody is suggesting they plan too much. What a shock. And Kody says, well, I can't go every single night with 4 hours of sleep. And Christine's like, well, Kody, you're the only one complaining. We're all trying to make it work.
And I'm just like, what's the fucking rush? Why is this the way that it is? You know, unless it's for like filming and production and there's like no budget to do this longer. If this is summer break, which they're making it seem like, why does this have to be a 7-day trip? Why is there 3 days of travel one way, 1 day at your destination, which is, oh my God, we're going back to our homeland.
Our Jerusalem.
Ooh, our Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
And you're planning it and like making this trip so quick, and now you're all arguing and you're fighting. Like, what is the rush? What's the rush? I don't get it.
This is where Kody gathers everyone for a prayer, darling, to speak to God. Kody calls
a prayer circle.
Oh, Kody. And he points out to us that when he's getting close to losing his temper, it's a good thing to call on God so you don't hurt other people's feelings. Calling on God.
He's calling on God to help him maintain his peaceful disposition.
Yes. Yeah, because Kody has such a peaceful disposition.
Yep.
And he gives us some more, therapy speak, but whatever. It's like, in a family like ours, it's important to keep things emotionally safe. And I am far from good at this, but I'm trying.
Mm. And Meri is on the couch tearing up.
Odd.
She's like trying not to cry.
Do you think because she's like aware that everyone was frustrated and it was terrible? Or is she moved that he's like talking about calling on God?
I think that this is one of those moments where there's more going on behind the scenes than we know about. And who knows when they're recording the actual couch interviews and the fact that he's talking about calling on God. I don't know what she's thinking, but she's tearing up. And they show it probably on purpose to be like, oh, he's such a good family man. He's calling on God. He's calling his family around to pray right now to make it through this trip. Like, I just want to talk about how ridiculous that is, first of all. We're calling on the Lord baby Jesus to get us through this road trip that we planned, that we're rushing through.
Yes.
But also, like, his wife is tearing up about it. I can't with these people. I just can't.
It's a little bizarre. I remember noticing it and not connecting the dots on why it was so emotional.
Because I don't think that there's really technically a reason that's ever going to be presented to us other than the fact that, like, they're trying to sell it as, look at this family man and his wife just thinks he's so special.
Well, he definitely is special, but not for reasons that they might be trying to make us think. So, darling, I feel like this is a good time to take a break, to gather our thoughts, our strengths. Maybe we could go call on God and ask him for some favors and some direction so that we can recalibrate and come back next week with part 2 of this fabulous episode. We're going to start on day 4 of this road trip. Remember, they were going to be there in 3 days?
Yeah.
Tomorrow, we're starting day 4 for part 2 of this episode.
I'm going to call on God, and he's going to come in the form of a worm at the bottom of the bottle of tequila that we're about to open.
Yes.
No.
I'll say a little prayer for you. See you next week.